You know how they say it's better to be lucky than good? Well, Denny Hamlin was both of those yesterday in Michigan, getting the win. It is a huge milestone for Hamlin, and he's here on the day after. All right, well, let's say hi to Denny Hamlin, and it looks like as of 9:30, which is 9:35, we're doing this interview. You're still at home, so you're not at the hospital, so
Yeah.
we still don't have a baby.
Still holding out. Still holding tough.
How overdue is she at this point? Because did you say 7 days?
7 days. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Give that woman some spicy food, please.
I know it. I
Get
know
her
it.
get her going. Now, did I hear that you might consider listen, there's no way she's gonna make it to the end of the week, right? I mean, but if she does, what do you do?
Yeah. I don't know. Mexico becomes tough at that point. Certainly I can't leave if she hasn't had it yet. So, getting back in time, that's just not going to work. So, I don't know. We'll play it by ear, but hopefully in the next couple days we can make it happen.
How is she feeling? Like, I saw the video of her watching
Yeah.
in the car, and she's definitely pregnant.
Yeah,
I had twins, so I was big, so I can empathize.
she's full. Yeah, she's had enough. She's ready. I mean, the kids are ready too. They're like, dying to meet baby brother, and they're
Yeah.
just, I mean, kids anyway. You put like hey, something's gonna happen at X time, it's X day, like they expect it that day, and then when it goes another day, another day, another day, they just start, will it
Yeah.
come already? So it's everyone's being impatient at this point.
Yeah, I saw Molly, the Coca-Cola 600 day, and she was like, "My mommy's having a baby today. If she doesn't have it today, she's having it," and I was like, "Oh my gosh." So I text Jordan,
That's right.
"Hey, I heard someone's coming today," but obviously not. For you personally, I know that the daddy-daughter relationship is, I mean, those little girls have you wrapped around their finger. But for you, knowing that very shortly you're going to meet your son, what is that like for you?
Just awesome feeling. I mean, this week is going to be fantastic. It was going to be great no matter what, but certainly having a win adds to it. And, just, I don't know. It is, it's difficult for me. So I'm such a competitive person, right? Like my kids aren't into sports that much,
Yeah.
which that's fine. I definitely support them in their singing and dancing and acting and all those things. But like, I they're not going to go play golf with me or shoot baskets with me. Like that's just not them.
Yeah.
So when you have a son, it just, I think the connection will be just a little different.
I love that. Have we ruled out James Dennis as a name? Is that completely off the table?
That's not happening. No.
Okay, not happening. Here,
Mm-mm.
I'm going to help you out because I know, and I did look to see if there are like any prop bets out there to see like what your kid's name was going to be. I couldn't find anything, just to let you know. But I'm going to give you three names. Tell me if you had to pick one of these names:
Okay.
Ross,
Okay.
Brad,
Uh-huh.
Kyle. You're like, I'm none.
Probably would pick Ross, truthfully.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
Kyle's just, too many Kyles in
That's
the
right.
world. Brad, it's just too, that's just too basic for me.
I love it. So Ross Hamlin
Yeah.
potentially in a weird world.
Yes.
Speaking of daddy, I beat your favorite driver. I thought you retired that. Where you just decided to bring it back?
Well, he sent me a text last night. He's like, "I told you not to do that." So it's just, I said, just having fun at this point. So again, it's just, I let the crowd choose what their ovation will be, and then I react accordingly. And when I hear mostly boos, I'm like, okay, it's my turn now, and so I give it to him when I get the mic.
What about if you hear cheers? Are you not going to like
Yeah,
intentionally try
no.
to get booze?
No,
Okay.
no. I think it's just I'll let you go first, and then I'll react to that type of thing. So I don't know. I always feel these crowds out. I mean, I said it during the media center. Like I thought that generally the crowd, while can be antagonistic behind the fence and say all kinds of wild, crazy things, like my fan interaction has been really great with people when we're up close and like we don't have a fence separating us. Like the fans, while we have this little rivalry, it's still It's been pretty respectful, and I thank them for that for sure.
It is definitely fun to watch. We're having a lot of fun watching you interact with the fans this year. Let's do the straight talk, straight stat. Okay. Denny, you are now the winningest driver at Joe Gibbs Racing. 57 wins, passing Kyle Busch at 56. Did you know that this was a place where you were sort of in the history books at Joe Gibbs?
I did. We have a banner hanging ceremony Monday mornings after you win, and I remember after the last one, I didn't know, kind of that stat till Dave Alpern kind of told me, he's like, now you're tied with Kyle, and so immediately I was like, oh, I got to break that like as soon as possible to get the record at JGR. But they got some great young guys coming up the pipeline, and records were always made to be broken, right? And I think that people, you look at the success of Seabell, and you know, he might run out of time due to age. It's so tough for me to say because he's only like 30 something, but yeah, it's super. This is one of the best organizations over the last 3-4 decades. Like
Hmm.
it's just they've been great, right? And so for me to be the winningest driver, having my entire career there, and I don't take for granted too that being with a team like that is a lot of the reason I have success. The reason, my skill level doesn't take us to 57 wins is because I'm with a really, really good team. And so I think that matters. And certainly when we hang that banner today, it's my job to give them thanks for the opportunities they've given me.
I think the skill has a lot to do with it, and so I want to get into the racing from this weekend. They always say it's better to be lucky than good, but you were really kind of both. When you look at the luck of the fuel mileage situation, but also your speed was right up there. I don't know if you saw the stats. I think you were number 2 in speed overall for the day. So, what percentage do you think was luck, and what percentage do you think was the team being really good?
I think it was a little combination of both. I think our team was very, very good. We were very, very fast, but we kind of got thrown for a loop a little bit there with about 50 to go. During
Hmm.
that last pit stop, we got jammed on pit road. I had some damage. I think it was the 54 and the 8. We kind of got squeezed between them, and we've restarted somewhere around 10th on that final restart. And so at that point, I'm like, are we really going to gain 10 spots in the last 50 laps? I think that's going to be a tough feat. But luckily for us, and probably, the luck part of this is that the guys that were up front, and I don't know that it's luck, like they chose to not put enough fuel in the car, right? We did it at Charlotte. Trust me, I know all about this. You want to get out front, and then if you get some cautions, everything's fine. But like the 77 and those guys, like they said, screw the fuel. We know we're going to be short, so we're just going to get the lead and try to hold it if we get some cautions. We said we want to make it, and a lot of that is probably PTSD from running out of gas for the last few weeks. My team made sure, okay, we're going to make sure he's full. I don't care where his track position is. We're not going to hear him bitching about not
Get it
having
all
enough
in.
fuel. So that was a big part of it. And certainly it allowed me that last run to just go all out when some of the guys in front of us were running 80-90%.
Yeah, so at what point did that switch, right? Because you have Carson Hocevar have his problems. You know William Byron's right where you kind of just mentioned. What point did you say, I think we're going to be able to overcome the track position, the damage, the slow pit stop, where whatever. At what point did Denny Hamlin go, I got this, man?
It was about 25 to go. It was when we got to fourth or fifth, somewhere in that range. I thought that the 54 was good on fuel, or at
Hmm.
least the same as me. So my only difficulty I thought was going to be trying to get around him. I didn't know the other fuel situations, and they didn't tell me a whole lot other than those other guys are shorter on fuel than us. So they might run out. Well, at that point, I'm like, well, so do you want me to push or not? And he just kept telling me, you're good. And so at that point, I'm pushing and I'm passing. I think I passed Ty and Larson all within one lap. And at that time, I was like, it's going to be tough for them to hold us off this long. I think the long run had been where we were strong all day long. And, it just, if I had enough laps to work over William, forget, his fuel situation. If I had I think I had 10, 12 laps to work him over. I think it was going to be tough for him to hold us off for that
Yeah.
amount of time, and he didn't.
Yeah, it was a fun battle to watch. I was like, I wonder if he's holding back, which was interesting because you said that you weren't, right? You because I
Mm-mm.
know that's like a little cat and mouse game, right? Where you hold back a
Yeah,
little bit till last couple laps and then just come on. But you were full throttle the whole time,
right.
huh? I
Hmm.
love it. So before I let you go, 701 starts, which is crazy because I remember sitting in the media center in Fontana when you were like making your first Xfinity Series start and doing an
Yeah.
interview with you. So it's crazy to think about that. And then all the wins. You did bring up the R word in the media center. I heard you. I read it. You said when you're not consistently running in the top 10, you're out. And I think you have to respect that. But what are some of the things that you see Denny Hamlin doing in the next chapter of your life? Because you have a lot going on right now,
Hmm.
Denny.
That's such a good question. The
Going to
next
more Ohio
chapter.
State games?
I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll do whatever I want to do. That's the thing that like I don't get to travel as much as I'd like
Yeah.
to. I see in the world of social media today is you see all these destinations like, oh, that looks great. Yeah, but too bad I can't go because I have to go. I got to be at a racetrack every Friday. So,
Yeah.
those things. My kids are starting to get to the age now where it's like, I don't want to miss any of this extracurricular stuff that they got going on. Um, you know, my son, whenever I decide to retire, he's going to be pretty
I love
young,
hearing you
probably.
say that, by the way. It like makes my
Yeah,
heart happy to hear you say that.
you just never know what's going on. I mean, I'll have a race team that I'm gonna want to help out even more than I do now. I spend a lot of time trying to make them better and make their drivers better, and being able to really focus on that will be a good goal of mine when I'm done. But truthfully, I just don't know. I focus so much right now on the driving part because I have goals, and that's the closest I can get to my goals is if I accomplish them as a driver. I can win as an owner for decades and decades. That's fine. I only have so much more time as a driver, and I just want to capitalize on that as much as I can. And so that's where all my focus is at.
Do you think you do something like Dale does, where just kind of jump back into a couple races here and there, or do you think you're the kind of guy that's just like I'm done?
That's a good question. I think it would be tough for me to just cut off, like
Yeah.
totally stop. I like what he's doing, kind of dabbling, going to racetracks that you like, in the Xfinity series or something like that. I mean, trucks. I got I kind of fell back in love with like watching some of the truck racing. I didn't get very many starts in my career running trucks. I don't even know how many I have, but it ain't many. Um, so I don't know, just doing stuff like that. It's hard to do well in Cup part time. So I'm very realistic with my goals, and I certainly don't want to show up when I know I can't win.
16 truck starts for
Wow.
Denny
Okay.
Hamlin,
It's
and
more than actually I thought.
it looks like 2 wins, both at Martinsville.
Oh,
There you go. You
right on.
also have wins at Mexico City in the Xfinity Series. A win.
I know, I know. I'm well aware of that. That was actually my very first win ever, I believe, in NASCAR Top Series.
That's awesome. Well, celebrate. Go down there and celebrate. Hopefully, you'll
Well,
be celebrating the birth of your son too.
I said after I said on the network after the race, I said, they said, hey, you won this race, 18 years ago. I said, I know. And when I go in the simulator last week and drive around the racetrack, it was like I was never there. I was in the grass, running into walls, like it's like
It's been a while.
past success. I'm not sure for those bettors out there that you should look at past success. It doesn't mean for future success for sure.
Well, I hope to see you at Mexico. I hope we have pictures of the new baby, whatever his name may be, Ross James Hamlin, Denny, whatever. And I know what you will be doing in the next year or so. They'll be changing diapers.
Yep,
So whatever. Good luck to you. Please, please, please give Jordan my best, and
will
I'll
do.
send you guys a little prayer that all goes well.
Thank you, thank
Okay.
you.
Take care.
Appreciate it.
Time now for best day ever, and there's only one person that can get it. The same person that got it last week, and that would be Jordan Fish, of course, Denny Hamlin's fiance. She posted a video of her sitting in the car watching the win, and it was just the cutest, best Most adorable thing I've ever seen. She's obviously ready to have this child. As someone who also went through that experience, for sure, I can empathize with what you're going through right now, Jordan. But she was cheering on her man, and it was really cool to see. So, best day ever goes to Jordan, and I hope that they have the best week of ever, and I hope that we have the best week ever by getting to see pictures of a new NASCAR baby. We'll see you next week.